Welcome to Pax Europiana from the center of Austrian power. This is the Foreign Ministry, the Interior, this is the Prime Minister's ship, and this is the Presidential Palace. And here I call for a new approach of Austrian foreign policy. Our own policy must also change. We must join NATO to be full member of the West, and we must be in full solidarity with Ukraine, not this kind of 5 months in between. This really very dubious politics, moral appeals but no results, almost no financial support, no military support, no weapons support, always hiding behind neutrality, no Zelensky in the parliament, only the parliament president then finally, and you know the whole thing is really dubious. And 5 months, I was criticizing it, but when you look back, then Mr. Schallenberg piggybacks in the Czech foreign minister, who is a very courageous man, just to get the anti-ticket, and then he meets the hero of the free world, Zelensky, and he has nothing to show, nothing. Moral appeals, but nobody in the political elite is ready to confront the socialists and nationalists, the national socialists of the Social Democrats and of the so-called Freedom Party, who are so clearly in the pocket of Putin with the gas contracts, and that's all over the place. You can see it. And also Schüssel and Leitl, they have also entered that fray and are now very active in the Russian camp. And Austria is a tragedy. And it's all under this cover of neutrality. We are hiding, and this must end. We have to attack neutrality as it is a cover for Russian money laundering of our elite. They get rich, the few connected. They claim to work for Austrian consumers, but you see what the exact cost of the Austrian consumers and taxpayers of their failed pro-Russian policy of the last decade is. When we make the count, in 2 years we will count, and it will be similar debacle like the financial crisis and the Hypo Alpe Adria. In the double digits the cost will be. And they will say they didn't know that Russia is aggressive, they didn't know there is war. And no, it's since 2014. And you know, I was very much involved in politics, and we had many discussions in the 2000s. And we always, my line in politics, we always said it's dangerous, we need to go into independence, we need to reduce our dependency to Russia. We all knew that Putin will use this weapon. And nobody can claim he didn't know. Man, we are no fools. Oh, we didn't know. Of course, everybody knew it. Of course, Schüssel knew it. Of course, Leitl knew it. And of course, they wanted to enter into the big picture for the big deals, which was for 40 years for the Social Democrats. Then they said, the Social Democrat time is over. Now we make the big buck. And made a ruble roll in their direction. And it did. And this is how it works. And this is how it went. And this is still ongoing. And of course, you know, the claim of the few is then Russian money and Russian oil and Russian gas made us rich, and that's why we have all this. But the reality, it was Central European workers who came to Austria to rebuild Austria. It's not Russian money per se. We can live without Russian money. Nobody needs 20,000 euro per square meter prices at Kohlmarkt. What kind of social and economic system the Austrian elite is dreaming of? A Russian kleptocracy? And that's the model you want to import? Kurz tried it some aspects. He was fascinated because they flooded money in his 2017 election campaign. I mean, we are no fools. Who really can spend so much money on elections? Certainly well-connected people around Russia, and they always work with Austrian intermediaries in order to clean it up. They are no fools as well, and so it's hard to prove, but let's have no doubt who is involved. I mean, seriously, it's outrageous that this was going on so long, and only it needed a war to be also open in the public. It's very outrageous. And all this anti-Europeanism of the people who claim then to be the high representative of the European movement and the big Europeans who brought this country into the European Union. Yes, but then they got fat and greedy, and they took all the possibilities of the West, and they have offered these opportunities to Eastern dictators for money, and that makes them exactly on the same level as Orban. He does exactly the same. No, he has even, at least he is in NATO, and they are not even ready for that. So that's really very disgraceful. And they will come now to the place, Josefsplatz, where I celebrated the 60th birthday of Wolfgang Schüssel in 2005. Yeah, it was in 2005. And I had this conversation here. I remember it very well. It was Jorinda from Slovakia, and it was Miklos and Lopatka and all of them. This was the whole, at that time I was still very active. And the Slovakians had the following request. I will tell in a second. This was exactly here. Here I remember. Yeah, when Schüssel wanted to put us Grasser as a party chairman, here it was. I will never forget. Yes, and they were somewhere eating somewhere there, and then they came to this event. And it happened like this. And then the Slovakians said, please, Wolfgang, support Ukraine in the European Union. That was after the Orange Times, do the flat tax, and support NATO. And he said, no, 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 no. I have a new friend, Vladimir. And then, from then on, it went downhill with him, with Austria, and with everybody else. Yeah? Because then they had this new German-Russian axis with Schröder, and Schüssel was in the shadow of that. He was much more clever not to be so officially involved, but that is exactly how it went, and that is exactly how it happened. Treason, well organized over years, and then we have the results, which are the disaster we face right now. And when you make the overall account, not the media, it was so cheap gas, yeah. Let's calculate. It was a complete disaster, and we lost billions over that. And because the cost of reconstruction of Ukraine, you have to add 700 billion. How cheap was the deal then? Such fools. Anyhow, more to come from Pax Europiana here from Vienna on this beautiful day. Bye.